Nyamazane keeping an eye on that particular story. Lindo, good morning to you. Talk to us about what is happening behind you there. It does appear that community members are indeed gathered, and there is also stuff that is burning behind you. What actually is the community saying there today?
Well, good morning to you, Xoli. The air is thickening as is by the tension from the standoff between the police and the residents. The residents have come here, gathered here to actually speak to the Premier, who said she'll be coming shortly. What was supposed to happen was at 9 o'clock, the Premier was supposed to come and address these residents. But when she came and tried to lure them to the local sports ground, they told her that they want to be addressed here, and she had to turn back with her motorcade. And we understand now that there is reinforcement from the police. This on my side, I'm just going to move as I speak, but there's reinforcement from the police. The police have called for backup to actually, prepare this area so that the Premier will be able to address the residents where they want to be addressed. But at the moment, the residents are waiting for the Premier, and they've rebarricaded this area, which was cleared up earlier by the police, and they say they want to be addressed here and nowhere else.
Have a chance to speak to the Premier yesterday. That's Premier Refilwe Mthweni. What did she say about this particular project of fixing the roofs that were affected by the hailstorm?
Well, Xoli, there were a lot of allegations from the residents and from community leaders saying there's been a certain amount of money that was given to the province by Treasury. But the Premier responded to most of those allegations, saying that, in fact, the reason why there is this protest is because there were people who were given a tender, and then after they were given a tender, they wanted more money than what was agreed upon. So that is why we have this project halted at the moment, and the residents are saying they do not understand because there wasn't anything communicated to them as to why it was halted. But the Premier explains, saying that if they were to give contractors the money they were demanding or the money they were asking for during the refurbishment of these roofs and houses, they would be, in a position of actually conducting a crime, because that would be irregular expenditure. And the Premier says they need to go back to the drawing board. They need to reissue the tenders and actually start afresh, which is going to inevitably cause delays in this area. But residents want answers, they want things to be done, and they want them to be done right now.
Lindo, just as a final question to you, this protest has been going on for some time now, and in particular the schools, the primary schools and high schools have been affected by this. How is the basic education department responding, particularly given that the matriculants are preparing for the exams?
Well, Xoli, there hasn't been any communication from the department. We haven't been able to reach them so far. But what I can tell you is that I was speaking to one of the matriculants in the area, and she says preparation has been, difficult, because if they're expected to study at home, then they still need that quiet place to actually study. But the thing is, there's always this protest, and they go on for long until late at night, and she can't study, and she says she's worried about what will be happening. Of course, that's the story we'll be bringing to you later and to our viewers later as to what is happening with the matriculants themselves, and also try to get a response from a basic education, because next week, in the next week, they were supposed to start with their preliminary exams, but we understand that they haven't even started with their controlled exam, preparing for those trial exams.
All right, Lindo Guhle, we'll leave it there for the moment. He's live for us, Ka Nyamazane in Mpumalanga, and the last question there relating to schools is about 8 primary schools and 5 secondary schools that have been affected in that area, and pupils are not able to prepare for exams. Well,